Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to a little bit of ELO comparison here on the GothamChess YouTube channel. Yesterday on stream, I played a match against Nemo, who is 2300 rated, and she's a women's grandmaster. We played 4 games of 5-minute blitz with 2 seconds bonus per move, except I was wearing a blindfold. The first game of the match ended in a draw. It was extremely long, so I've included the 3 games after that. First comes the footage, then I will analyze it. Let's go.
E4. E4.
Oh. D5?
Okay.
No, I thought you said D4. I'm like, bro, she doesn't play that.
E takes D5.
Knight F6?
Mm-hmm.
I have been saucing people with this, but not
Other
blindfolded.
than the fact that it's not great.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
That's
They
true. Knight
they-
C3.
Oh, why you gotta kill my fun? Knight takes D5?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, station break. Thank you to user on clear for the 50 gifted subs again. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, man.
Oh, wow. Thank you if you gifted in my channel. I can't see.
Bishop C4.
C6?
Mm-hmm.
So here everybody plays this move Queen F3. Looks very natural, but it's not very good.
I thought Knight B6 was the main line there instead of C6.
It is, but a lot of people play...
Yeah. Anyway, she played. It's fine. But anyway, C6. She played D3.
What the... What? Why would anyone go D3 there? G6?
Okay.
What is D3? What a sober move. Like, it's such a solid move, you know? Where's the fun? Let's have fun.
Knight GE2.
What? Hikaru, who taught this? Knight F3, proper chess, Bishop G7. Is she trying to play weird because I'm blindfolded?
Castles.
Castles? What is 92, bro?
It's definitely a different setup, that's for sure.
But it is weird, and it's hard for the brain to keep track of weird setups. How low did my time get last game?
I think you got to about 15 seconds, roughly.
And her?
And she had, I think she had like a little over a minute, maybe like a minute 20, minute 30.
Okay, wow, that's crazy.
King H1.
All right, I gotta not get worked up. I don't even know. E5?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it's my final answer.
Bishop to E3.
If she has a coach, that coach is vomiting somewhere. Bishop E6?
Bishop to B3.
Bishop, oh, B3. I was like, she
B3,
played the same move twice. Okay, it's like, I want to refute the setup. I also don't want to get low on time. Let's go F5.
Knight takes D5.
Let's take with the bishop.
Pawn to F4.
Bishop takes bishop.
Uh-huh. A takes B3.
Knight D7. Now her setup looks brilliant.
Actually, it does look pretty good, yeah.
That's the problem with blindfold. It's like calculation is so much slower. It's no way to refute anything. That's a simple position. I hope she takes on A7.
I think that's probably a bit too far. C3?
Rook E8? I don't like C3. What a weird move. Rook E8?
Mm-hmm. I played it.
What's the time?
You have 238. She has 252. Queen D2?
D?
D, yeah. D is in David.
A6. I feel like we're up on time.
Yeah, you're up 20 seconds. You have 230. She has 210.
Yeah. Just tanked the last, like, 3 moves.
Well, it's still pretty close, though.
Very complex position, of course, but okay.
Rook A D1? D, just to be clear, D1.
Yeah, Rook A D1. Okay. Queen C7? I feel like
Knight to G1.
Knight G1?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Definitely unique. Rook A D8? Isn't she down like a minute and a half?
Queen F2. She's down a minute, yeah. Queen F2.
Queen f2, e4.
Pawn to d4.
Pawn to d4, wow. Knight f6.
Knight to e2.
a5.
H3.
Queen b6.
Knight to c1.
Knight d5.
Rook g1.
a4.
B takes a4.
Knight takes bishop.
Queen takes.
Queen takes b2.
Rook d2.
Queen a3.
G4.
King h8.
33 seconds. She has 21. Rook dg2.
Bishop takes d4.
Queen g3.
Take the rook.
Rook takes bishop.
Queen
18
e7.
seconds.
Queen e7.
Okay. She has 21. You have 18. Knight e2.
Rook d3.
Queen f2.
Rook ed8.
12.3 seconds. Knight d4.
Queen h4.
Queen takes h4.
Oh, her queen's on f2. I thought it was on e2. Oh. Oh. Bishop d4 was such a nice find, too. Damn. This game, I went for the Scandinavian defense, and after e takes d5, I guess theoretically the Scandinavian is queen d5, and I went for knight f6. Knight f6 is an invitation for white to try to play some of the more gambit lines, like, for example, the Icelandic gambit, the Portuguese gambit with d4, and so on and so forth. I just recently made a gambits repertoire, and I've been having a lot of fun and a lot of success with these positions, so I decided to play it against Nemo. Now, Nemo did something pretty smart. She played very weird moves in the opening, and as you could see from my reactions, you know, white playing like this has basically no advantage, and the whole point of the opening for white is to get some sort of advantage. So white has no advantage, but white is also not worse, and that's the beautiful thing about playing with the white pieces, is that generally speaking, if you don't play the best way, but you still like put pieces in the center, and you don't create any crazy weaknesses, and you don't blunder, you know, you're gonna be fine. And I was kind of worried about that because, you know, in Blindfold, I'm constantly reminding myself and spending energy reminding myself where the pieces are. Whereas a person who just sees the board just sees the pieces. Like they don't need to go through all of that. And you know, in the analysis here, I played a very committal move, and I played this move f5 just to take some space. The problem with this move is that ironically it throws away all my advantage. It looks like a good move. It looks like it takes space, but it makes my pawns too soft. Oftentimes when you push pawns too far, it will completely kill your flexibility. That means that back here, the pawn could go 1 square or 2 squares, and you can still maneuver around. But, oh, I apologize. But when you play the move f5, you weaken your bishop. And the way Nemo played in this game, after we had a trade, is she played f4, and she just immediately, what I mean by soften up my pawn structure, she made a very difficult decision. If I push, I open up my bishop, but in many ways, I open up her position too, and that's actually worse for me, because I'm not fully developed yet. Her position is very good. If I leave it, which is what I did in the game, and play around it, it's probably the best option, because I need to develop around that pawn. And the same thing goes for if I take it. In fact, if I take it, I think it's probably also okay for me, but I really didn't like the prospect of the knight coming here, and then, you know, this, and I understand it's defended, but there's some tactics, and the last thing that you want to do is, you know, blunder a tactic. So I played very solidly. If you notice, I just, for the rest of the moves, like literally for the rest of the moves, I traded, and then I just developed. I brought my knight, my rook, my queen, and my other rook. I just brought everybody. And the reason I played a6 is because I didn't want the pawn to ever be a weakness. And so now, you know, again, she's really kind of doing like this thing. She's draining my time. She's draining my brain power, which is a very good way to play against somebody blindfolded. She's making me make the decisions. And I was still making the best decisions. Like e4 now is a very good move. Because if she were to take, I would have played rook takes here. And we have kind of a symmetrical structure, 3-on-3 on this side and 3-on-3 kind of on that side. But this is a very soft pawn. There will be a lot of positions I can attack it. Not for the loss of a queen, but something like this. I will double up. And my bishop is better than its counterpart. My knight, not so good, but in a couple moves I can kind of activate it and it will be all right as well. And I thought that I was going to be comfortably better. But again, she kept the position closed. And here I was really making progress. Like I was immediately isolating this pawn. I wasn't letting it move forward. I brought my knight to the middle. And at some point, I really softened up the structure and I took. And once you get to the base of operations, everything else will fall right after. And everything else kind of was falling. But to her credit, she did something very smart. And this is a very good lesson. That's why I wanted to analyze some of these games. She played this h3, g4, right? And the problem here is that she's creating counterplay. When you are in a losing position, you can sit back and defend everything, but you're not going to be able to here. I just have too much pressure on everything. I have too much pressure. So what do? If you can't sit back and defend everything, play the clock and make chaos. So we both had very low time, and I'm playing blindfolded, so I can't even make my own moves. There's a bit of a delay there when I'm telling Hikaru the move. But she's creating chaos. I mean, she's creating some attack, right? So I played king h8. She played rook g2, but she blundered. This move removed the defender of this pawn. The problem is that now there was 10 seconds on the clock. So it was very hard for me to kind of keep track mentally. It's why I played this move. This is definitely not the best move, but I felt safe, right? It felt like I just, you know, I anticipated takes, queen g7 is not a mate anymore. So that's why I played it. But then, here she played knight e2. Now, I immediately recognized that the knight departed this square, so I can go rook d3. But here, I just completely forgot I had this move. Like, part of me, like, knew I can take something on h3, but I did not remember, like, where the king was, and, you know, and then of course, tragedy struck a move later, and I played this, which is a very confident, both as gambit, but sadly, it's just losing the game. The way you would win this position is, I mean, you know, you can either just focus on the middle and like trade rooks. So again, just get the game down to an end game, trade a rook, maybe trade the queen, and then push through, or use your material advantage to just take, shatter everything, and then get in with your queen. And the computer likes this one, but it also likes trading the rooks. It's just that one will take a little bit longer. So that was a good game. Used my opening well, got a good position, but sadly, as the game went on, wasn't able to execute the victory. But now we will take a look at the third game of our match. Let's go for d4 this game.
Okay, D as in David, right?
Yes.
Okay. Knight f6.
What does Nemo play?
I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think. All right, let bishop g5. The trusty old bishop g5.
Knight e4.
h4.
Oh God. Okay. This is just so bad. H6.
Bishop f4.
Yeah.
It's so good though. That's like the beauty of it.
D5.
D5.
Mm-hmm.
E3.
Mm-hmm.
I love these lines.
E6.
But she plays such boring lines. Bishop d3.
Bishop d6.
Oh yeah, this. Knight e2.
Okay, Levy.
I feel like Nemo's openings are like a cocktail with no alcohol.
Okay.
Like,
interesting comparison.
Like, I know I'm down, but those were good games for me. I just can't see the board, and I have 8 seconds, so I'll be fine.
So c6.
What? That's a terrible move. Bishop takes knight.
Pawn takes bishop.
Knight bc3, bro. Who taught this lady chess? My God. I can't lose this game, Hikaru. I can't hang my queen. Oh my God. She's
F5.
Just... Bro, what the... Come on, man. What is this? See, now I'm gonna get in the tank because I'm trying to refute the setup. G4.
Levy, I was just gonna ask, are you able to completely focus on just the game?
What do you mean?
I mean, because like in the past, like before when I would do blindfold, I could easily focus. But nowadays, when I try to, oh, she played knight a6.
Knight a6.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I mean, it's a legal move, I guess. It's such a like it. She's playing like bad moves, but they're not like, you know.
E takes f5.
Bishop takes d6.
Mm-hmm. Queen takes d6.
A knight to f4.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's bad, but it's not like dead lost. I can focus. Like, it's really hard with less than 10 seconds, and
No, I meant in general, because like I know when I've tried to do it, like, or she played g6, by the way.
okay. Yeah, I keep trying to chat, but rook g1.
Mm-hmm. Because like when I do it, I just like I can't not think about chat or 20 other things now at the same time. But anyway, rook g8.
I feel like I'm tryharding a little bit if I only focus on the game. I don't know. I can't bring myself to. Wow. See, like, this is what I mean. Like, this is not dead lost. That's crazy. Ay. Okay, let's focus. Okay, let's just go queen e2.
Mm-hmm. Bishop to d7.
Yes. Long castle.
Mm-hmm. Long castle.
h5.
Mm-hmm. You have 221. She has 4 minutes.
Spent too much time trash talking.
g5.
Knight g6.
King b8.
a3.
Mm-hmm. You have 216. She has 311. Bishop to e6.
Knight e5.
Mm-hmm. Knight to c7.
King b1.
Mm-hmm. You have 203. She has 243.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to focus just on the game.
Yeah.
Like, my mind, like, will go somewhere, and
But I mean, isn't that just a streamer thing? It's just like because you're so used to like multitasking. It's like it's so weird.
yeah, and it's hard because I have to bring myself back and remember all the pieces again. Like, it's
exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm. A knight to e8.
Knight to e8. Knight a4.
Mm-hmm. Knight to f6.
Knight c5.
Mm-hmm. g4.
Queen d2. Is she really gonna take my h pawn?
She's thinking here.
How much time we got?
You have 120. She has 1 minute.
Time goes too quick, man. This is so hard. I really thought I was gonna win, like, a lot of the games. This is really hard, actually. 5-2 flies by.
She has 27 seconds.
Yeah, what is she doing?
She's thinking.
Why?
Chess is a hard game. King to a8.
Again with these, like, recreational king departures. c4.
Mm-hmm. Knight takes h5.
Rook h1.
Rook g5.
That move looks like complete shit. What? Queen b4.
Rook to b8.
Oh my god, dude. Are you kidding me? How much time do I have?
47 seconds. She is 21.
d5.
Queen takes e5.
Knight takes e6.
Okay. You have 20 seconds. She has 22. Rook to g6.
Rook takes h5.
C takes d5.
C takes d5.
G3.
Take it.
Queen takes g3.
Rook
10
h3.
seconds.
Rook h3.
Queen e5.
Rook h1. Rook h1.
Rook f6.
Queen d4.
Queen takes d4.
Knight c7 mate.
Very nice.
Oh, yes. Oh.
That was clean. I just got destroyed on the
Oh my
queen side.
God. That felt good. That felt good. That's good revenge.
Good revenge indeed.
Okay, that was pretty sick. Admit it. That was pretty good, right? So this one, you know, I played my true and tried Trumpowski, obviously. Played everything that was in my courses. H4, which is the Raptor variation. You know, Hikaru was like grimacing a little bit, and this is really the point. When they overextend against the Trumpowski, this knight becomes a target, and you want to trade the bishop for it and leave them with a target in the center, which will ultimately be a pawn. And that's exactly what I did. And the reason I didn't rush is because I don't want her to trade and damage my structure. So I played the position like this. And c6 is just a very bad move. It's one of the reasons, like, you know, you might listen to me and, you know, I'm being a little bit too harsh. And I ultimately lost that first game, despite kind of making fun of the opening. But the truth is c6 is just no good. Black has to either move the knight just out of the way of my bishop, or attack the center faster. So in a lot of these positions, like, black just needs to play more aggressively. Not like this, though, because, again, you will end up with this weakness. But c6 just isn't good because you get nothing. Now you can't even move your knight out. You can't move your bishop out. So, you know, I won the opening battle. Again, like, this move g4 I think is very good, very important to just open up and, you know, play like rook g1. It just felt like very good, very, you know, but then here again, I paused for a moment when I was blindfolded and I was like, damn it, nothing works. Like, I really want to take on g6. The problem is that just because you really want to sacrifice doesn't mean anything. Nobody cares how you feel. The board is the board, right? The best move is going to be the best move. So rook here, there's queen h5. But then king f7. Oh, that would be nice, but king f7. And I just didn't see anything. I mean, I have this pressure, but, you know, I can go knight e2 and try to go knight f4, but she's just going to go here. Now she's not even pinned anymore, of course, so I didn't do it. And, you know, instead I went to slow play it, and I kind of knew that when I made this transformation to this kind of a position and rotated my knight to e5, that black was fine. Like, I knew in my heart of hearts, like, black was probably completely fine, and she should look for counterplay on the queen side. She went for a knight rotation, which I do believe in. I think that this was very good. But here, she went for the wrong plan. The plan that she went for just wasn't good. She absolutely does not need to take this pawn. If you saw from the game, she ended up very belligerently taking this pawn. But in reality, she needs to worry about what I want. I want to expand on the queen side, and she can meet me right at the gates there. Even g4 is a problem. She could probably play a move like b6. Like, she needs to basically ask me, what am I doing? What is my business on this side? You know, am I going to back up or am I going to trade? If I trade, then okay. I've lost one of my aggressors. This knight is nice, but it's not going to do any damage on its own. And it felt like she needed to deal with my plan first. But she was dead set on this, and the problem is it opens lines for your opponent. So, again, it's a lesson, and sometimes you know, you can't take that forbidden fruit. You know, queen to d2, king to a8, and I again, on this whole time, I was expecting her to address this threat, but then she took. And, you know, this is a bit much, because for the cost of one pawn, you've now paralyzed 8 points of your own material. Think about that. Nemo took a pawn on h5, activated my rook with pressure, and now just completely stranded 2 pieces. She cannot move this because the avalanche, and she obviously can't move the rook. So here I was like, all right, let me play an improving move. Let me threaten mate and activate my queen. She goes rook b8. And now, you know, I played the critical move. And I'm very happy I found this move blindfolded in the middle of all this chaos, the move d5. You lose a guard of your knight, so that knight can be taken. But had she played c takes d5, it's really the same problem. It's the fact that I have 5 attacking pieces, right? All these pieces are attacking, and this piece is lingering with the pressure, so because this rook can't move. So even though she can take, I jump in and I hit the rook, and the rook can no longer guard the knight. And I was a bit nervous. I was a bit nervous for this pawn breakthrough, losing this. I thought maybe there was something I could blunder, but I knew that this was looming. And as you could see in the game, ultimately, that's kind of what I went for. She went for a little bit of counterplay here. Not a bad idea, but, you know, here I just played this move so I wouldn't lose on time to guard my rook on the back rank. And I was very happy here to find this nice move, queen d4. And she cannot guard mate and the rook at the same time. And the queen can also not be guarded. She could take the knight, but she will go a rook down, and I will try to take this pawn and then go here. Probably trade the queens. That's probably the easiest. But the way the game ended is also very nice with knight to c7 mate. Can't be disappointed at that. Now the match is all square, and now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the final game.
b4. D as in David.
D5.
Knight to F3.
Oh, there's so many different things. Let's play knight C6.
I'm trying to emulate your game against Eric Rosen.
Which one was that?
You play anyway. She played E3 here.
Okay. Bishop G4. No, I've been messing around with the Albin and
H3.
I like to mix it up and get a bit weird. Bishop H5.
Okay.
I get bored.
Bishop to D3.
That's just a big mistake. Okay. Knight F6. Like, I have my most success in Blitz when I play new openings and mess around with different positions.
It makes sense. Yeah. No, also though, since you're gonna be playing though, I think it's actually really good to be messing around and playing everything. She played A3.
Tough move. Did not see that move coming. Okay, now E5. There's a 0% chance that she actually plays the move G4.
She also did play G4 Levy, by the way.
Oh, okay. Oh, impressive. I did not think that she had it in her to play this move. Okay, now I actually have to calculate a little bit. Let's say Bishop G6. Let's take a risk.
Oh, do you have a glass bottle? Is that why it's dangerous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah, I had that happen once. I was playing. I think I had coffee in a mug or something. Like, I'm like so scared that I'm accidentally tip it and like smash it.
Pawn takes pawn, attacks the knight. Can't be bad.
Pawn takes pawn.
Knight E4. Here's my logic. I'm gonna go down a pawn, and I'm gonna figure it out.
Bishop to D2.
She will make it a lot simpler for me to figure it out with moves like that. Why does she? This is not how she plays. Like, I don't like. What is she? I don't know. Queen E7. I just don't understand. Like, she would never play like this normally. So she's like deliberately trying to play weird or something. I don't
Bishop
know.
to B5.
It's not a bad move. Well, you went there.
Bishop takes C6.
Yeah, BC6.
Knight to C3.
H5.
Rook to G1.
Yeah, I had a feeling she was gonna play that. That seems like a Nemo move. HG.
HG.
Rook B8. Yeah, it's an annoying move. Rook B8.
B3.
B3, you said? Rook H3.
Queen to E2.
Knight takes C3.
Bishop takes knight.
Queen C5.
King D2.
Wow. Very frustrating. Queen B6.
She has a minute and a half. You have 53 seconds. Well, like, so now imagine like there are tournaments where you have to play like 3 games, and it's like when I was playing, like I'd play like Ivanchuk and then play Magnus or something. Okay, rook to H1.
Yeah, that's the problem. Rook takes rook.
Rook takes rook.
C5.
Rook to H8.
D4.
E takes D4.
C takes D4.
You have 30 seconds. She has 38 seconds. Bishop takes D4.
Rook D8. I think that was
26 seconds. She has 30 seconds. King E3.
Holy shit! What? C5.
You have 20 seconds. She has 32 seconds. Bishop to C3.
C4 check.
Bishop D4.
Queen C6.
Queen takes C4.
Queen E4 check.
King D2.
Queen F3.
Queen A4.
Rook
10
D7.
seconds.
Rook D7.
Rook F8.
King F8.
Queen D7.
Queen F4.
Bishop E3.
Queen B4.
A takes B4.
Ah, shit, opponent A3. Yeah.
You were lost anywhere there.
Yeah.
Anyway, though.
Yep. Yeah, it's losing. So this last one was obviously pretty heartbreaking to lose. But it honestly was shocking more than anything else doing the post-game analysis. So first of all, Nemo, credit to her. She doesn't usually mix up her openings, and for the sake of the match, she did mix up her openings a little bit. She doesn't usually play D4, for example. I was really hoping for Queen's Gambit to play like an Albin counter Gambit, Chigorin defense kind of style position, which is also in my repertoire, my Gambit's repertoire. But, we got a very confrontational position very early. She notices here my pin, so she plays the move G4. And I play the move Bishop G6 and sacrifice this pawn to put my knight in the middle. I'm able to get away with this because White has overextended so drastically that their pawns are just going to be very weak. And my game plan here was to go Queen E7, long castle, and take the pawn, which is exactly what I did. Now, Bishop D2 is just a very peculiar move. It's not a blunder, but again, her strategy this match was to play very solid, very strange, non-standard moves, and then get a playable position. I mean, I don't know if that was her strategy deliberately, or she just kind of made it up. But I finished with my plan here, Queen E7, and here she played just simply a really, really good move. She just stopped my plan. And, that sounds easier, like, said than done, but she just played Bishop B5. Even though she spent 2 tempi developing the bishop, her idea here is that she's going to take and kind of just pause me in my tracks. Like, she'll just pause my plan. And it's going to be very hard for me to win, my pawn back. So I opened up a new front of attack. I played H5. And again, she played a good move. She didn't take. She instead moved the rook out of the way. So now I cannot take on H1. All right, so rook to G1. Because again, if you take, you just lose. I mean, this is just losing. You can't, you have nothing equipped to stop this pin. Like, I'm just going to apply that pin forever, and then you will slowly lose. Now, I played rook b8, she played b3, and again, I couldn't find a way forward here. I was very happy I played the computer's top choice, which is this very obscure infiltrating rook move that puts some pressure on the knight, makes the queen a little bit soft, like, holding it, and queen e2. And this was the moment, like, I needed to do something. And I didn't find that something. I took and played queen c5, which I thought was very clever, because I thought that now she has some problems. But it turned out that she had no problems at all, and in fact, I helped her develop. Like, I just helped her develop. Like, she moved her bishop, and then this very odd king move connects the rooks, guards all of the weaknesses, and she's threatening to go rook h1, and all of a sudden, the whole game gets flipped on me, because I'm the idiot with the bishop that can't move, I'm the idiot with the infiltration on the h-file, and that's exactly what she went for. So what did I do, right? I'm like, okay, the only way to actually successfully play this position is going to be to infiltrate with my pawns. That's the only way to break things open. But what's funny is I could have just done it. I could have just played the move d4, which looks crazy because that is occupied 3 times. But sometimes in chess, we have something called a clearance sacrifice. And that's, like, giving that away would give me the d5 square. So I would get to move my queen exactly where that pawn used to stand, apply pressure to the knight, to this pawn, and to this, and I'm winning time more than anything else. I'm winning time because now, if this knight were to move, for example, to g5 to attack my rook, I can continue to probe, and now there is no rook h1. Now there is no rook h1. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I saw the move d4. Like, of course I saw this move. I just threw it out as bad because it just loses a pawn, and I didn't see the immediate reaction. Granted, I'm looking at it without actually seeing the pieces. So it's a lot harder to sacrifice a pawn for long-term compensation in your mind. When you look at the pieces, it's easier. Because you're like, oh, okay, I kind of get that, because I just didn't see it. I just didn't see where my knockout was going to be, so I decided to go for this plan. The problem with this plan is it's too slow. And believe it or not, I still thought I was better. I still thought I was better all the way down till this moment. I just thought, okay, I'm going to attack her, and I really underestimated the infiltration of her rook, like just how strong and annoying this was. And then she played king e3. Like, what are you going to do? If your opponent can make 2 king moves in the center and they're the best moves, that was the best move again, and everything is safe. There's nothing you can do. I still thought I was going for something here, but yeah, she's completely safe. Even with the loss of this knight, queen a4 check, and I am busted. And what ended up happening is I blocked. She finally cashed in on that rook, and there's nothing I can do. Queen d8 is unstoppable. If I go king g8, she's up to 3 pawns. So good luck to me trying to survive this. I think the game ended with check, and yeah, well, I forgot her pawn was on a3. So it's very important to not chalk this game up to, oh, I hung a queen in time trouble. Pay attention if you made it this far in the video. It's very important not to go, oh, I hung my queen, I just won't do it next time, That's not why I lost. I lost because early on, I really underestimated her position, and I couldn't find the critical breakthrough. Like, I probably should have, even all the way back here, started with h5, anticipated bishop b5. But even a little bit later, like in this position, right? I should have seen that after takes, queen c5, king d2, that the evaluation of that position is actually better for white. I vaguely saw the move king d2, but I evaluated that position as 100% still going to be better for me, because honestly, I just thought that a move like bishop e4 was very good. And it wasn't. I mean, just knight d4 and everything is glued. And now f3, rook h1, bye-bye all of my advantage. So I misevaluated a transformation of a position. That is why I lost this game. And then from there on out, it was, it was kind of like a snowball effect of misevaluating, just belligerently attacking. So that is the takeaway. That is the takeaway. Not, I hung my queen on b4. Blah. That first game, yeah, definitely hung a queen. Shouldn't have done that. But listen, that was a lot of fun. I to be honest, like I said in the beginning, I thought I was going to do better. I thought I was going to probably win 3-1. 2 draws and 2 wins, or maybe 3 wins and 1 loss. But I was humbled. And I want to run, a rematch, and I want to be a little bit more serious during the games. I was a bit more chatty and making jokes and everything like that, so I definitely want to try to practice. But I'm not going to lie to y'all, 4 Blindfold Blitz games in a row, I felt like someone, attached the suction cup to my brain and just absorbed everything. Not that there's much in there, but anyway, as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the content, you made it this far, I love you. You're amazing. Subscribe if you haven't already. I got courses. I've been plugging them throughout this video, but they are in the description. And yeah, leave a comment. We have the best engagement of any chess channel on YouTube, so let's keep that up, and I will see you in the next video.